Well, first of all, my name is Maxine Samone. I've seen a lot of new subscribers, so I wanted to show my face and introduce you guys to my page, my channel, my Substack, The Void. Invite you into The Void. Um, my name is Maxine Samone. I'm an intuitive guide, writer. I've been a writer in the personal development and spirituality space since like 2019. Um, which actually doesn't sound like that long, but it feels like a very long time. I've been giving readings for quite a while as well, both in person, um, at shops, online, been in the work, okay? And I had posted collective messages on TikTok and YouTube for about a year, and then I took a break, kind of got more grounded in the 3D things, on the areas of life were calling my attention. And I'm feeling currently the call to express myself in new ways. So I took a break from giving readings collectively, but I would love to start doing that again. And so I feel like Substack is the perfect place to do that. And since I have new faces, new subscribers, I would love to offer you a collective message. I do these in different ways. Sometimes I'll just start picking up on a thread of energy and then I'll, go from there. And that's when I'll usually hop on if I have the time to do so. Other times, I'll get into a meditation, pick up the energies, whatever. Sometimes I'll also pull from, I really love like random generators. I love to pull channeled songs. I love, love, love music. Um, Today I pulled some words from a random generator. And so we have hope. They're going to sound random, but I swear they will tie into the message. It always seems to work out that way. Hope, football, bald, convert, and monarch. And I like to pull clarification cards for each of the words. First, we're going to get an overall energy oracle card. And then we're going to get into the vibes. We're going to see how it goes. Okay. Um, but first, let's pray and get the energies right. And if you can't stay for the whole reading, that's totally fine. Um, it'll be saved for subscribers. Alrighty. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, higher beings of light and unconditional love, divine mother, divine father, Holy Spirit. What are the best and highest messages for the collective watching this? This is a timeless message whenever you see it. There can and will be most likely messages in here for you. If it does not resonate, don't feel like you need to take it. Don't make it fit. We have Ascension. It did come out in the reverse, but since it's the overall energy, I'm going to take it just as is. Going through an ascension process, okay? I really love that. And then we have Christ consciousness on the bottom of the deck, okay? Why do I feel like the collective that I'm reading for is calling somebody else to rise in their consciousness? Through your embodiment, you're calling somebody else to rise in their consciousness. But it's not in the inviting way, like, come with me type of thing. It's like having to watch from afar, slash, I feel like spirit is doing something. They're doing a thing where through your absence, your essence is still felt. It's like you're otherworldly, you know? And I'm not saying that, Christ consciousness isn't, but it looks much more human in this card as it's depicted, Underneath that I do see karmic clearing. Sorry, my nails look crazy. I had two of them popped off today. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But yes, karmic clearing. And I feel like you're being moved out of the way essentially of somebody else's karmic clearing, but you're still, your essence still lingers. You're still an example, even like ethereally. Does that make sense? Like your energy is still felt, very much so. It does give this person hope in a way. I think it also invites this person to contemplate, to what's the word that I'm looking for? It increases their faith through having connected with you, because there are some things that are not explainable, like the ways that your essence still lingers. It's very otherworldly, where maybe if you were directly in contact with this person, they could attribute it to other things, like logical things, you know? Um, it is restoring some type of faith, hope, understanding, building some type of understanding, um, spiritually for this person, without you having to hold or bear the energetic weight, of helping this person clear their energetic karma. You're some kind of guiding light. Um, it's interesting because I did pull a channeled song. I debate sometimes if I want to share my channeled music with you guys, because I listen to a lot of like different types of music. I listen to a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop and things like that. And sometimes it's not appropriate and I don't know what the copyright things are on Substack. But it's the channel song was Right Wrist, like WRISS, by Primo Rice, which he talks a lot about pimping and things like that. And it's interesting because it's like otherworldly, like I said, like the left side of her is otherworldly while the right side of her feels human. The right side typically um leads into the masculine. And then like I said, it seems like this masculine figure is doing some kind of clearing. And this could be also reflective in you. You could be clearing a lot on your masculine side, or a lot of karma that has to do with masculines. It could be something that's mirrored in that way. I do see divine devotion as well here with the masculine, and it seems like he's being stripped down, but also again like otherworldly, like blending into something else, um not limited to the 3D, you know uh very vulnerable, and looking up to the ethers, all the things, what I'm saying, to the skies, ascension, you know okay, let's get into some clarifiers. But I was saying, what was I saying about that with the left side? It's like the feminine. Spirit is asking you to be in your embodiment, in your feminine, and not in the way of maybe necessarily nurturing, like right face to face with this person, but through your embodiment of um, maybe even putting yourself first, walking away, focusing on your ascension, focusing on your personal path, um, deciding to, what I'm hearing is, get bigger. You know that song by Anderson Paak, Get Bigger / Do You Love or something? And it's like, you and me got to get bigger. That song is coming to mind. So yeah, I just got chills. Um, so you're being called to focus on your own path, but not without somebody noticing. Yes, Lilith and transformation. Not without somebody noticing. Like somebody has their eyes on you for sure. Um, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I do. Obviously, it's coming up for a reason. So we have hope. Can we get a clarifier for each of these words, please, Spirit? Thank you. There could be multiple people that have their eyes on you. Hope. Void of course, moon missing. It's clarifying hope. The second word is football, which is so interesting to me because it's so random, quote unquote. Earth element stability. Bald is the next one, Jupiter. And Jupiter abundance in the reverse. Hello. I was gonna say hi, but my almost got caught in the throat. Jupiter return benefits. Interesting is clarifying convert. I picked out some channeled words, and I'm getting clarifiers for those words. We just started the reading, so monarch is the last one, and then that's clarified by Saturn return age in the reverse. Okay, so we have water element sensing. Like I said, the overall energy is this ascension card, and then the bottom of the deck is this water element. So clearly, we're in the middle of an eclipse portal type of thing. We have all this Pisces energy going on. It's interesting because I definitely feel the duality. I feel like, I have, like, me personally, I'm definitely activated in this energy between my Pisces stellium, and then I have like a Virgo moon, Virgo rising. I'm very activated. I feel the polarity. I feel my higher self wanting to be stretch, expand, rest even. Um I would say abstain, even though that's not the best word, but like kind of pull back. I even feel like a fasting feeling sometimes, and just like wanting clarity and clearing out confusion and delusions and all of those things. But then I feel very much, I would say, like a lower aspect of self, not in bad or worse, but just more like primal. I want to eat. I want to feel pleasure. I want to stay up late. I feel like myself wanting to use those other things that can also be, explored in, what's the word? Like a little bit at a time. You can't overdo it, I, you can use those things, but not as escape. And I feel myself wanting to escape. I feel like Spirit is inviting you to, I wouldn't say suppress those urges, but to explore them, to recognize that nothing is missing. Um, that when those urges come up as urges like that, there's no reason to use them for escape, but to explore what is it that you're desiring actually, Um, I feel like the collective, myself included, is very much in a phase of not wanting to run away from their life, or not, you know, uh, again, nothing is missing. You realize that when you have a desire for something outside of yourself, it can stem from a place of lack. But when you have ascended past that level of consciousness, nothing is missing. It's more about aligning with said thing, or aligning with the desire and understanding where that desire is coming from, and giving yourself that so that you can be in your embodiment, or even blasting through whatever fears are keeping you from that embodiment, right? So when it comes to this other character that I feel like there's some mirroring going on, there's another character that I feel like is an observation of you that could potentially have some mirroring happening, where this person it feels like they're just a little bit, I don't want to say linearly behind in understanding, but it feels like you're leading in some type of ascension process. And this could span to more than one person. This could be like people that you have grown apart from, you are being some kind of guiding light, and they may be looking at you to fill whatever lack that they're feeling, you know, like a projection. Again, that primal energy is still like an undercurrent, the subtleties of like our humanness compared to like the spiritual ascension that's going on. I don't know if that's making sense, but it feels like there is something that's obviously trying to be grounded. You have the earth element stability. And it's like this game. This it feels like back and forth, especially with this being clarified by football, you know? Um, it feels like a game. You're trying to I'm picturing like, when people are playing football and they have like the different I'm not a football person, okay? But they have like, the yards and like one team is moving closer to the end goal and then one team is moving, it keeps going like this, going back and forth. And something has yet to be grounded. That's clarifying bald, which is very interesting to me because I think about hair. And I think about like starting over, like cutting off, hair is like a spiritual antenna. I don't know. We're gonna keep clarifying because I don't want to think about it too much. I just want to get into the vibes. Okay. Um, let's see. Hope is clarified by void of course moon missing. We have 9 of cups. That's beautiful. The ace of wands in reverse and the empress in reverse. I don't know if these were really in reverse. I'm gonna take them like that. Hmm. Let me get one. Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's another character that I feel like you had to dead something with. You know what I'm saying? Like death card. With the 9 of cups, it's like there's nothing missing. You can provide yourself something by yourself. And it's literally a matter of grounding that, pulling that down from the ethers, you know? Um, with the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Empress in reverse, it feels like there was confusion previously. And this is where you're not being confused. I think you're being asked to, again, not suppress your primal urges because this does give kind of like a kind of sexual energy where a masculine, like phallic, is being inserted into the womb, the empress type of thing. You know what I'm saying? To give something, to even enjoy something. You know what I'm saying? Like pleasure. With the 9 of cups, it's like pleasure. There's some kind of pleasure, but you don't actually. When I clarified, it's like there's a hope for this to be a wish fulfilled, but I think there's disappointment actually because we have the 4 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. It's like not actually getting there, not actually getting what you actually want because you're realizing that whatever you are wanting was something that you're looking for outside of yourself and it wasn't giving. You know what I'm saying? So there's some kind of like confusion that's being cleared at the moment, but it comes through recognizing that there is no thing that you're looking for outside of yourself, including maybe this person. Um, which I think brings some grief that you can probably feel from either this person or maybe you're processing your own grief. But it's not actually what you want to receive. I think what you actually want is like a solid sense of independence. What is football? Earth element stability, the star in reverse, the hermit in reverse, the ace of pentacles. That's what I'm like, okay. And the 6 of cups. This person, or this could be again how you viewed yourself and allowed another person to view you. It's like you're the star player, you're the MVP, you're the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have the ability to ground your desires should you actually sit with them and not look to, you know, fulfill them in some other way through some other person, even animalistically, you know? Um, it feels like with the star in reverse and the hermit in reverse, when you were looking outside of yourself, you weren't seeing your star qualities, your football, like you like you're the quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever the best player on the football team is, I think it's quarterback. That's what I hear all the time, at least. We have the star and the hermit reverse, and we have the ace of pentacles, and it's like, this is what you've been trying to ground is your full potential. The desires that are being revealed to you through this, it feels like pull back and forth of like your, again, like maybe a lower self, like the shadowy, more animalistic aspects of self are still revealing aspects of you that want to be developed through your ascension process. Okay. Through this, I guess it's like a game of life to reveal your potential. I think that's your truest desires to actually ground this ace of pentacles, which is one of the slowest pentacles to ground, as the ace of pentacles. It's a journey that you go on to ground the ace of pentacles. And this is why I feel like with the Jupiter abundance card, it's in the reverse, but then we have Jupiter return right after that. It's like after something is learned, after something is developed, after something, returns, you know, even that masculine energy we're like touching on, this could be your own internal masculine energy. And I mean, the next cards are convert and then monarch. That's like a standard of royalty, or not standard, but title of royalty, something like that. Anywho, Jupiter returned, or Jupiter abundance in the reverse, clarifying bald. Yeah. Why did I know that card was going to come out? That is funny. Spirit is funny sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so this could show up physically where you want to change your appearance. You know what I'm saying? You want to relieve yourself of the lingering energy. You could be like in a purge, or like wanting to cut your hair, or, like when women go through, well, not even just women, but when people go through a breakup, they want to cut their hair. It's kind of the energy that I'm getting. But really, I think even past that, I think it's funny because Spirit is saying, like, you're wise, like you're powerful, you're MVP, you're star player. And you're looking outside of yourself at what seems like to be this masculine that's showing up as a king of wands in reverse, six of wands in reverse. They're like, this motherfucker is bald. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not in tune. They don't have the spiritual antennas that you do. They're in their ego. And this is how, when you allow your primal energy to kind of take over, or to, when you're not using it in the way of like using it to identify your desires and to work with them, you're allowing a page of pentacles. When you're over here trying to get to the ace of pentacles, that's a journey, right? You're keeping yourself stuck on like level 1 because of these desires that you have not learned to, I don't want to say conquer, but work with. You know what I'm saying? There's some energy that feels like it's related to developing your internal masculine energy through, I don't want to say suppression or discipline. I don't believe in that, and in conquering oneself like that. But I do believe in redirecting energy. And it kind of feels like that, or disarming the ego rather than feeding it. But it seems like you do this because convert comes out. Yes. And we have Jupiter return benefits clarifying convert with the King of Cups in reverse and the Two of Swords. It was an emotional block. You would previously satisfy your urges, which were indicators of emotional blockages. You would satisfy those urges with something that feeds the ego. This could be looking outside of yourself. This could be dealing with a masculine that is on the beginner level, it's an issue of self-concept, of not having ascended this level of your self-concept or self-worth for understanding your energy or developing it. But it feels like you're starting to understand, yes, and release with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, these emotional blockages that convert this Jupiter energy. Every time this comes back around, maybe it's this person, maybe it's a different person, same energy, same scenario. It feels like you're ascending through tapping into, again, bottom of the deck, your emotions and, elevating, we're talking about ascension, Christ consciousness, you know what I'm saying? Karmic clearing. So these urges that you are feeling are related to the subconscious and the emotional, the desires that are trying to be revealed through your subconscious, like behaviors. So we have monarch verified by Saturn return age. We have the Two of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Yes. What am I talking about? Diving into the subconscious. They're saying prioritize diving into the subconscious. Prioritize tapping into your high priestess energy. Prioritize silence and observation. Yes, we have the Fool and we have the Hangman in reverse. This is how you free yourself from being in that, it feels like this purgatory of that Piscean energy. The Death card again on the bottom of the deck. This is how you transcend this level of the ego, this layer of the ego. And while I do feel that there is a character that is mirroring this process or maybe catalyzing this process for you, maybe where you're being asked to not entertain, said figure, because it's just really a reflection of this layer of the ego that you are being asked to ascend, or transcend, and not through suppression, not through ignoring, not through escapism, you know, they're asking you to take a different perspective and integrate what the subconscious is trying to reveal to you through your urges. Yes, we have the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Swords in reverse. Interesting. There is something that is very fucking annoying to you right now. It's like it's an annoyance. It feels almost like a thought form that is like poking at you. You know what I'm saying? Which I have a lot of thoughts on thought forms, okay? And how they can develop into patterns. Obviously, like thoughts are things like I'm going to write a whole article about this, but thought forms, when they show up as this Nine of Swords, this shows up as like poltergeist energy almost, where this particular cycle has led to many betrayals. Thankfully, this is closing out, but it feels like there is an annoyance where Spirit is saying you don't have to be annoyed. I feel like you're right in the middle, where previously when you would have dealt with this cycle, you would have gave in to said pattern and desires, escapism, you know. You don't want to do that, but you're trying to you're annoyed with the energy coming up in this way. But Spirit is saying you don't have to be annoyed. Take joy in the fact that you're at this level of consciousness where you can observe this and you can now shift this. Yes, with the Four of Swords, observe it and shift it. You have the Four of Swords and then we have the Eight of Swords in the challenge position. So it's like they're saying rest, meditate, observe the thoughts that are going on in your head. How do these thoughts lead to this pattern of self-betrayal, really? And release yourself from this self-imposed prison. This is all mental. All these are swords now. And then we have the Three of Cups. Celebration. And then we have the Ace of Swords. They're like, yes, it sounds a lot simpler than it probably is, but they're asking you to really drop into observation mode. And I would even say when the Nine of Swords comes out, especially like right next like this may be a process that takes a few days, couple of weeks, maybe through this eclipse portal, this is the process that they want you to go through of observing the thoughts, maybe even writing them down, as they're coming up, just jot them down and really start to notice the pattern, the thought form pattern, the fucking annoying energy that you're picking up on, and counteract that with even reprogramming the subconscious, maybe listening to subliminals that, yes, the Hierophant and the Page of Swords in reverse. Ask for assistance, ask for, you know, get curious as to why this has been like a repetitive thing, and then I would say even, reprogram those thoughts, release them, whatever, do whatever you feel called to do, but basically spirit is identifying that this is definitely like a pattern, like this is how your how this Pisces energy can help you with releasing and kind of moving through the grief, not just the grief, but like there's so many things that come up when you're going through an ending, right? Pisces energy, this is Pisces and Scorpio energy. Closing between in between that is closing a door with the world in the reverse. Hi. um oops, I made these mix up. But Pisces, Scorpio in the middle is like an open door that needs to be closed. So there's a lot of emotions and thought patterns attached to emotions that need to be moved through properly to officially close the door. And so I don't feel like it's so much of like feeling things heavily. I don't get that. It's more observing the thoughts that are coming up and not allowing the thoughts to become so overwhelming or annoying that you default to primal behavior, that perpetuates the pattern. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we have the 10 of Cups. Perfect. Let me see. Is there anything else that I want to get for this message? I kind of want to look up. I know what the word monarch means, but for the most part, but I want to see what it comes up in the definition because that's the last word that we're ending on. A sovereign head of state, especially a king, queen, or emperor. See monarch butterfly. Period. That's exactly monarch as a noun represents sovereign. This is how you become, yes. Thank you for the definition. This is how you become, this is the process. This is literally what they're asking you to do. And this is also, I feel like, combining, overall energy. So I'm saying the left side of her is very otherworldly. It's very like that divine feminine energy. Not to say that her right hasn't developed, but on the bottom of the deck we have the Christ consciousness. This is the masculine and the feminine coming together, And so this is the aspect of you that is being asked to be developed, where it's not through suppression of those desires, but it's observing those desires so that you don't just automatically go to like your primal instincts in escapist ways, and like dissociate from the body, um, and what the emotions are trying to tell you through your body, through your desires, through what you're craving, Anywho, that was a message. I feel like I really like this. Because I didn't realize that Substack, when you go live, you can choose what audience that you want to make it available for. You can choose everyone, you can choose just subscribers or paid subscribers. And so since I have a tier for all three, pretty much, I mean, I guess everyone is public, but I didn't realize that. And I was making this way more complicated. in pre-recording, and then I had to like upload it, and it was like mad extra, and it made me not want to record. But now that I see this, I'm gonna be posting way more often. And I feel like this is partially what I've been feeling is like I saw this quote that was like creatives that aren't creating are insufferable. I was feeling like that. Where it's like I'm not recording, I'm not doing anything. I'm getting irritated. And I think that there are things that I need to express, but I need an outlet, as we all do. So thank you for being here with me. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Oh, shoot. Okay. Bye.